All right, boys, it's a big week. Expansion week is here. If you have early access, the expansion's dropping this week. If you don't, it's dropping early next week. So maybe we should get into the 10 things you should do to prepare for the launch of the War Within. I know what I'm going to be doing. Clearing my bags for one. But what are these other 9 things? Let's check out what Dalaran has to say.
Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Yal, and the War Within expansion is launching in less than a week, with some of you guys joining in for the early launch on the 22nd, or official launch on the 26th. And with the launch on soon, right now is the best time to prepare to make sure you have a strong head start with the launch of a new chapter of World of Warcraft, the World Soul Saga. But also, certain rewards that are currently available will actually be no longer made available around the time the expansion launches. So this video is essentially going to be a checklist of everything you should probably take care of this week starting now before we travel to the undiscovered lands of Kaz Algar. Because the expansion is launched so soon, I want to get into this list as soon as possible. So as always, if you guys want to see more regular War Within updates like these, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. Otherwise, let's dive right in.
Yeah, rating on the servers has been really low. I mean, nobody's rating right now, so I don't know if you still have a shot at getting that mythic mount that he was just showing off. But hey, you might as well give it a go, considering we only got days left.
The number one thing you should probably start doing right now is cleaning out your bags, especially if you're looking to play multiple characters. Having a clean bag going into the next expansion is crucial. And I don't just mean just your bag space specifically, reagent bag and the normal bags, but also your bank inventory as well as reagent inventory. Right now is the best time to set all of your characters in the best position so you can start leveling in War Within, not have to stop to sell all your goods or deposit things too much, or just basically have everything set up in such a way where the entire process of gathering supplies and using them later is completely automated. So cleaning out bags, reagent banks, which actually sell quite well on the auction house right now. All of those items, the herbs from the expansion of Dragonflight, for some reason are selling, and I've been able to make a little bit of gold to then deposit over into the Warbound Bank for all my...
That's good. Yeah, that's right. It's all going to be Warbound currency too. So, I mean, the more you clear out your shit and get things on the auction house and everything, all that, it's going to be... You have all that Warbound currency now that you can use for your alts to get them ready for the expansion.
Also share, and it's quite a bit of gold on the side as well. It's really not that bad. On top of it, if you're not utilizing the Warbound banking system, you are probably doing this wrong completely, because this thing is a godsend. The Warbound bank is our inventory slots that all of your alts can share. And you can even customize them quite a bit as long as you have some gold to buy additional slots. Or if you right click any of the tabs, you can customize them with a name. You can select what items go into them, and I have a specific section for professions specifically. If I deposit all of my Warbound items, all of my herbs, mining ore, skins on a leatherworker, herbalist, or a miner, all of those items will go here in my Warbound bank slots. And then my other alts can utilize those raw materials to craft items with leatherworking or create weapons with blacksmithing, and then utilize all these items through different professions. So one character can do a lot of the harvesting, while another character can use those items directly from the Warbound bank to craft.
I would say people are definitely going to have some profession alts. Profession alts are going to be a thing most definitely with the Warbound banks and everything like that. And from what I've heard with early access, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are just digging into professions, because you're going to be limited. The season hasn't begun yet. Mythic Plus, you can't do it yet. Rating, none of that's going to be open yet. But what will be open is you'll be able to gather a lot of herbs and mining and everything. Man, you could get pretty rich probably playing the auction house early on, getting all that ready too. And I wonder though, if somebody doesn't have the early access and you put War Within reagents on the auction house, can they buy them? Because that could give some people a head start too. It's kind of weird that some people are going to have access and others aren't. Yeah, they will be. It's damn. Some people are going to get rich in this early access period.
Stuff immediately, and all you have to do is stop by a bank, deposit all of your Warbound items, and then you're off to continue leveling in the new expansion. And then later down the line, you come along, level another character, and you want to do some profession working, you can immediately jump into profession, not have to manage your inventory or get reagents yourself. All of those things are there, and all of that progress and effort was already done on one character, so then you can continue advancing on another character entirely. Although if you do look at my character's items, you will see that the bags are not completely empty. I do want to make sure I have at least a weapon, and I probably should boost it up with item level a little bit for if I want to play Beast Mastery or Marksmanship. But then you also notice we have a bunch of reagents, consumables, and things that I can utilize during my leveling journey. Flasks from current expansion are still going to be pretty solid. It's a bit of a decent secondary stat gain, especially as your character is going to be getting specific or randomized stats more or less as you start replacing all of your gear. You can't really control over best secondary stats, so you just buying a flask with the stats that you need can be helpful. Having your weapon imbued with a howling rune or any kind of rune for best secondary stats, especially if you got a really high item level weapon that you're not looking to replace for a very long while, that could also help
Yeah,
go
like a
along the way
legendary.
in terms of overall increasing your damage, which increases your questing efficiency. Then for mobility, we have things such as gun shoes as well as goblin glider kit. We are going to be able to skyride in the next expansion, so flying is essentially going to be your number 1 way to traverse
right
around
off
the
the
place.
bat.
But if you're in combat,
That's right. You'll be flying right off the bat, so that's cool. No unlock required. I think there is going to be an unlock though for regular flying. This is dynamic flying, right? There's going to be an unlock for regular flying. I forgot what. It's some achievement. It's going to be easy. Basically, do the opening quest lines or something, and you'll get it. But besides that, yeah, the goblin gliders could come in handy, most definitely. And what was I going to say about the professions and limited early access? Exactly, though. The early access is, in fact, limited, yes, in that the season hasn't begun. Nothing's really kicked off just yet. But otherwise, I mean, you'll be able to do the dungeons as you quest. You'll be able to level up. It's going to be a leveling period. That's it. You're going to get in there. You're going to level. That's what you're going to do with the early access period. And maybe play with your hero talents a little bit. Hey, Sam, I saw Deadpool. Well, I actually brought my kids to... Yeah, I did. They loved it.
gun shoes is a fast way to escape danger or get into from one side quest to another side
Yeah, there's
quest.
going to be an unlock
Same thing
for
goes
steady
for
flight.
Goblin Glider
Yeah,
Kit. Just
Pathfinder.
having that extra ability to glide from one area to another, especially in super high heights, can be super helpful. Things such as Dreamwalker's healing potions also don't cost a lot on the auction house, so stocking on a handful of these can just provide you with a little bit extra overall survivability as you quest along in the new zones. Things such as Bloodlust drums are useful, like Feral Hide drums, especially if you don't have a character that has a Bloodlust available, so non-mages, non-evokers, non-shamans will actually find this quite useful when encountering a tough, rare, or elite. Outfitting your mounts with light step hoof plates allows them to gain additional grounded movement speed. Like I said earlier, you are most likely going to be flying around everywhere, but for the moments where you are grounded, having a little bit extra movement speed does allow you to get from one quest to the next.
I wonder how long the legendary is going to last, because I have Fear Left right now. I would think 40. So many people were saying like 77 until you start to replace gear. If you're really geared right now towards the end of the expansion, it's pretty wild to me that I'm going to be 7 levels deep before I get anything. It'll be interesting.
And if you are upgraded far enough with the repetition with your guild, you will be able to buy battle standards or coordination, which can be used if you are leveling in a party. Let's say you're going through a area that has a bonus objective where your party is going to be stick around that objective for a while. Dropping down battle coordination in a enemy rich area will allow everybody to gain additional experience, which will cut down some of that experience overall gain that you need in order to reach max level. So buying up some of these consumables, especially before the prices start to really rise up as everybody's trying to get the last second scramble for all of these things, buy them while the prices are very, very cheap and get all of your characters set up ahead of time so you don't have to worry about it too much. Now, another thing you should probably do is log out in the Legion version of Dalaran, because this is where it seems that we're going to be able to start our primary initial quest line in order to get into the actual zones of the War Within, based on some of the beta testing that we've done recently. So if you
I'll probably log out in Stormwind. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be a little bit afraid to log out in Legion Dalaran right before the expansion goes live, because what if shit's broken in Dalaran and your character's stuck there? What are you gonna do? Yeah, I just preemptively say, this is Blizzard. You got to be a little bit careful. So, me personally, I play Alliance. I would be logging out in Stormwind. I could take portals everywhere, and that's most likely where the story is going to kick off from anyways. He's saying Legion Dalaran will be where it starts. Okay, you can get there from Stormwind anyways. But like I said, bitch, what if shit's broken? Might just want to hold off for a second.
Want to get your characters parked out anywhere, just park them at Dalaran if you are not planning to log in until the expansion launches here, either during the early access or during the official launch period. So if anything, your character's already there and ready to start questing immediately. Before the event is gone, you should definitely finish out the Radiant Echoes pre-patch event, which is one fantastic for gearing any alts. So if you got yourself a monk that you want to now level for the next
Yeah, it's good for gearing alts, but that's about it. I'll be honest, I found this whole event underwhelming. I don't know, maybe it needed like some better mounts or something for me to actually want to chase better I don't know. There was nothing exciting about it, nothing that I felt like I needed to chase. I got the mounts pretty quickly, and then I just didn't do it anymore. And the mounts themselves, I didn't care for them. The what is it? the yellow and blue Griffin. I'm never going to use that thing. But the whole event was lackluster, to be honest. But whatever. Hopefully the expansion's fine.
Or Death
Maybe they're
Knight,
just
or a
focused on the
Mage, or a
expansion.
Hunter, or a Shaman, or any of the classes that have gotten a significant amount of changes over on the beta, or maybe you're excited just to play some of the hero spec plus class command.
Yeah, Cadence. People like it for gearing out their alts and stuff. That's fine. That's what it's good for. Otherwise, there's no reason to do it.
Combinations from max level, then you should definitely get some characters leveled right now because Radiant Echoes is incredibly efficient. You also have plenty of different collectibles to gain from Radiant Echoes, such as a mount, which is available, one version for Alliance, one version for Horde, 3 different pets, as well as a variety of armors that can be used in order to help you level, or you could just use them as transmog. So might as well get that out of the way, because I don't think Radiant Echoes, or the way to regain that currency again, is most likely coming back up until a later point into the expansion. And you basically only have 1 day left to finish out all of your Mists of Pandaria remix activities. You got a very limited time window on this one specifically. Recently, I did a video on how to do everything you need in order to get all of the unique rewards for Mists of Pandaria remix.
And this is it. Today's the last day.
Link down in the description of this video, but remix is ending soon. Get all of the rewards right now, because a lot of these rewards, majority of them, the unique ones in particular, are going to be completely gone, never to return until maybe at some point in the near future, or maybe some of them will show up on like trading posts or something, but nothing has been confirmed as of right now by Blizz themselves. Now, for some of the rewards that are currently earnable but will be going away once the War Within officially launches, Awakened Raid rewards is going to be one of those things. Like, for example, the mount for defeating all of the different bosses on normal difficulty. Specifically, the mount being the Voyaging Wilder Ring.
Right.
This mount is available for defeating every single boss on the most basic of basic difficulties, and this is one of the easier mounts to earn. Some of the other rewards are going to be...
At this point, everything's so nerfed and all the players are so geared, you should be able to easily get the mount if you haven't gotten it already.
A title of Awakened Hero for defeating all of the bosses on Heroic, and portals to all 3 of these raid locations if you defeat all of these bosses on Mythic difficulty. So if you're really close to finishing on Heroic or even Mythic, right now both difficulties are much softer than their initial versions. So if you're looking to finish it up, this is literally your last week. Now, another set of rewards that are going away are going to be the Mythic Plus rewards, specifically the Draconic title for earning 1500 score within Mythic Plus difficulty, the Infinite Armoredon mount, which is earned by earning KSM keys.
Oh, I didn't know this. You can still get KSM even though didn't the season end? You can still get it? I know you can still get the mount, but can you still get the achievement or the title? Maybe not the achievement.
The master, or 2,000 points for a given season, but also portals for every single one of the original Dragonflight raids, which are part of this current season. All of those are going to be going away once the expansion official launches. To get the portals, you have to complete any of these dungeons on a +10 difficulty, which is also quite easy to do right now, with all the content much easier to really get into, as long as you have a fairly decently geared character. Now, another Season 4 activity that you'll probably want to get squared away with as soon as possible is some of the different Season 4 bullion rewards. For example, bullion can be utilized in order to buy some of the end game gear, but with the expansion approaching so soon, there's a good chance that buying stuff now, unless you already have a full...
I mean, you could easily double this up. You can get the bullions from doing the raid, and then you get the mount from finishing the raid and killing all the bosses too. So that's a double achievement right there. And then using the bullions to buy stuff. At this point, I mean, yeah, you're basically buying leveling gear. You're gonna use that to go very deep into the expansion, especially if you level it up, you push up the eye level. So yeah, some of this gear could be really useful going forward in the War Within. People, like I said, people are saying some of it won't be replaced till like 77. So some of this gear will take you pretty deep.
Having to gear up a character and boosting all these items is maybe not as efficient. So another thing you can spend your bullions on, however, is some of the more cosmetic rewards from the Infinite Importer, like the Jiggleworth Senior Mount, a mount available back from Shadowlands, but brought back in for the Awakened rating. This one will set you back 3 antique bullions. Then you have a variety of different cosmetic items from all the raids of Dragonflight. These are going to come from the different difficulties of each raid tier, from the LFR, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic, and all of these cost 1 bullion. So if you have some bullion left over, I'm not exactly sure what they're gonna do with the bullion, but this vendor is here only for Season 4. So make sure to spend them as soon as possible before the Season 4 is technically gone with the release of the
There's also some really good transmog in here if you've already got all the gear you wanted and everything, like the different, different versions of some of these weapons, different colorways. So that'll be good for that too.
Within. Now, another vendor that's going to be going away very soon, not exactly with the release of the War Within, but a little bit shortly after, is the bonus NPC that they added to the Black Market Auctioneer. The Black Market located kind of off the edge of the Obsidian Enclave, and inside you'll have a vendor that has a few items that you can be purchased for raw gold. This is essentially a gold sink vendor that allows you to just spend exorbitant amounts of gold in order to get things such as mounts, as well as a variety of different weapons and even armor cosmetics.
That's right.
Now, technically, the vendor does not go away with the release of the expansion, but they do go away at the end of August. But the expansion launches at the end of August, and there's a good chance you're going to be spending all of your time leveling alts, gearing your characters in. I don't know if any of you are going to have enough time to go back.
I completely forgot about this gold sink vendor, and I didn't even know there was a time limit on them. Oh, so they're gone the end of August. Damn. So if you want, I guess you want to sink your gold.
The Dragonflight zones to buy up all these items last minute. So might as well get it out of the way so you can just enjoy the new expansion once it's finally here. Lastly, very similar to the Black Market Auction House vendor, we have the Trading Post. Also, just like the vendor in the Black Market Auction House, all of these items are not necessarily linked to the War Within expansion, but the rotation of the Trading Post will be switching by the beginning of September 1st, and around that time is when we'll be getting the new expansion. If you're just going back to the game right now, Trading Post is essentially a way for players to be able to get a variety of different cosmetics by doing in-game activities.
To be fair, I mean, the Trading Post feels like they keep bringing back items now. Now, I know there's like a recycled section on here, and it makes it feel less like, oh, if you want it, you got to get it now kind of thing. There's no guarantee any of it gets recycled, but the big items typically have been coming back through, so don't feel too rushed. If you want to pick between things, don't cry yourself to sleep. Probably they'll come back.
You'll find the set of activities in the Adventurers Journal, where you have the Trading Post Journal specifically, and it gives you a bunch of different tasks that you can complete to earn the currency of Trader's Tender, which you can then exchange over at the Trader's Post in order to buy those cosmetics. But it's also a good idea to hold on to the currency, like if nothing in the current set of items in the Trading Post strikes your fancy and you don't really want to spend the currency now, you can hold on to it and then have that currency carry over into the next month, so you can buy some of those goodies from the next upcoming month, which is going to be after the expansion launches. And with that, that wraps up the entire checklist of everything you should get done before War Within launches. As always, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a like. I would very much appreciate it. It helps the channel reach out a wider audience and the YouTube algorithm. Also, join our Discord community, a great place for you to ask questions and get some answers, or hit me up directly if you got any questions whatsoever. Also, let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.
Great video. Yeah, so basically, guys, spend your currencies, clear your bags, clear your banks, get your alts ready, do the pre-patch event if you want to gear out your alts a little bit, spend your bullions, do the achievements, typical end of expansion stuff. Of all of this, for me, like I said, clearing out my bags most important. The bronze bullions, I don't really care to use a lot of them. Some of it's for transmog at this point, but I was thinking about it, honestly. If you haven't gotten geared enough yet this expansion, going through the raid, you can get makeups bronze bullions. So originally when the bronze bullion came out, you could only get one per week, but if you fell behind, you could get more than one to catch up. So running through a raid, getting bronze bullions, and using them to buy some gear for your alt or whatever that you want to use for the expansion, that could be a really good idea, because some of that stuff's going to last pretty deep into the expansion. Nice video from Dalaran.